Kristin Omdahl, and welcome back to Yarn on the Beach. This is episode 96, and we're here in Southwest Florida, Bonita Springs to be exact, and this is the Gulf of Mexico behind me. A little more of the beach. Oh no, I'm on the side now. Okay, anyway, good morning everybody. Thanks for joining me. If you're joining me live or in the recorded version, please let me know where you're from and what you are crafting on this morning, or crafting with. I have made some progress on the cardigan that I was working on. As you can see here, I have, let's see. Oh, it is so confusing unless you lay it down flat on the ground. I believe this is the front. Take my jacket off. I could probably try one. I have one sleeve done. Good morning from Puerto Rico. I have one sleeve done, so I think I might be able to try it on. Nope, that's not it. That must be the back. Then it must be this way. There we go. That's looking like a cardigan. So we've got a sleeve and an angle to the front. Let's see. So it'll actually be up like that. Yes, so there's where, so this is the front where it will, this is the front of the cardigan from here to here, and then it angles down to the lower edge there, and we've got a sleeve. It's really hard to imagine this as you're going. It takes a lot of spatial math to figure out how to make a fitted garment and motifs, especially when you do the motifs on the diagonal. But don't worry, once the pattern comes out, I'll have it all written up and all spelled out with lots of detail. But as from a design standpoint, it gets a little confusing. But I think it's looking super cute, and I love the length of the sleeve. So awesome. So as you can see, it is a square motif. Let's see if I can. So here's the square motif. Yes, here's a square motif, and this is a triangle motif of that same square. So by joining squares and triangles together, you can get this beautiful cardigan style garment, working them all on the diagonal. It's like I said, it's a little confusing until it's done, but it's going to be so worth it. It's going to be so cute when it's done. So that's what I've been working on since we last spoke. Anybody else is working on something this morning, let me know. I know the waves are lovely this morning. Really lovely. Oh, which brings me to another point. I had mentioned that I was doing this stitch pattern as a top-down raglan pullover and also as a top-down triangular shawl. And I had started the triangular shawl with Be So Sporty yarn in colorway Trailblazer. And you notice how the triangle is a little wonky. What the problem happened is that the way I increased in the corners wasn't generous enough for the amount of increasing at the point. So it's turning out to be too short on these sides and too long on this side. So I've started over. Instead of unraveling, I wanted to start over with another yarn just to see if increasing differently at the edges would make a difference. And look at how much more beautiful this triangle is. I'm going to show you side by side again, but notice how these sides are longer now, and it now looks like a better triangle. So I'll show you again. See how this one's just a little too ruffly and not enough triangle shape. That's because the increases were not sufficient here to match the increases at the center. So I've been more generous with my increases at the edges, and you can see they match the ratio of increase in the corner better, and that's why it looks more triangular in shape. So back to the drawing board on that, and I'm so glad I did, because now it's going to be a much better design because of it. And that's one of the interesting and complicated parts of converting a stitch pattern into something else. So like I said in the beginning, we started with this square motif, and from that square motif I manipulated it into a triangle motif to be able to make this cardigan. And then to manipulate it further, I did a top-down triangular shawl, which is growing that triangular motif. But in order to grow it as a shawl, you had to change the ratio of increases from the sides and the corner to make it grow. It was prettier, not prettier, it was different when you only needed a 4-round motif. I'm missing a conversation, so sorry guys, but I thought this was interesting to share. And then I manipulated the square motif to create a raglan shaping for a top-down pullover. Oh, look what I just found in the sand. I'm guessing that came out of my bag. Not often that you would see a tapestry needle in the sand at the beach. Good morning, Joan. The sun is so nice. Let me show you the beach this morning. It's pretty quiet down here. Thanks, Sarah. So we've got the sun coming up in the east over the trees and the buildings. We've got a couple of walkers to the south, but not many. Unfortunately, we have tons of dead fish on the beach this morning because of the red tide. And Dolly the Wonder Wagon. And we have a few walkers to the north of us. But you can definitely tell that season is coming to an end because it's really, really quiet down here. The weather has not kept people back this morning. For it to be this quiet on a beautiful morning really tells me that season's coming to a close. Thanks, Patty. I like sharing the design process. I find it to be so interesting because it's not just cut and paste. You don't just say, oh, I like this and I'm going to do it for that. Sometimes it requires, you know, a trial and error process, and I find it really interesting. Yes, needle in a haystack. I found a needle in the sand. That's hilarious. That's got to be a good, it's got to be a good omen for the day. Yes, Annie, I will always put videos up of the new project. Absolutely. It's just not even finished yet, so the garment isn't even finished, so it'll be a while. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining. Oh, thanks, Beatrice. This is the dress that I was talking about the other day that I found at the farmer's market. I'm going to sit up so you can see what I fell in love with. So I was at a booth at the farmer's market, and it was a giant van with an awning, and they had all the dresses hung from hangers off the awning. And what I loved about this one was the blue top that's tie-dyed. The bottom is purple and tie-dyed, and it came to a V like this, so this is fitted, but then it's a fuller skirt, like a lot fuller skirt, and it's even 2 different fabrics. So the top is fitted because it's a stretchier, tighter fabric, and this is different. This is knit, and this is woven. And I loved the 2 different colors, which you wouldn't always think these 2 colors would go together, but I think because they're both tie-dyed in the same way, and they actually look like 2 colors on the spectrum of the rainbow, that, I don't know, I fell in love with it. So they said I could try it on in the van, which I thought was hilarious. So climbed in the van and tried it on, and it fit, and I left with a brand new dress from the farmer's market. I know the waves are amazing this morning, aren't they? They're so loud. I love it. Thanks, DJ. I love the cut of the dress too. It's fitted where you want it to be fitted, and it's flowy and forgiving everywhere else. The only problem is that it's more flowy than I even realized, and it is dangerous in the wind. I wore it to Marlon's tennis tournament on Sunday, and it got windy, and I thought I was going to have a Marilyn Monroe moment from Some Like It Hot. I caught it in time, but it was a little stressful for a minute. I guess I'm not used to such a flowy dress. I'm used to more A-line skirts, I guess. I'm not used to a completely full gathered skirt. I need to be careful of that. Even as long as it is, it was going up. Anastasia doesn't know who that is. Marilyn Monroe was she's an iconic actress from the 1950s, and there was a movie she was in called Some Like It Hot, maybe 50s or maybe 60s, and there was a scene where she's in a big city and she's standing out for one of those grates in the sidewalk, and the air blows up and her skirt flies up over her head. So thank goodness I caught mine in time. Yes, I do, Thea. I mean 7-year itch. Absolutely. That's exactly what I mean. Sorry about that. Thank you for correcting me. What am I thinking? Yeah, 7-year itch. Absolutely. Sorry about that. This morning I'm drinking jasmine green tea. Nice and florally. Good morning, Dawn. Oh, I prefer to be corrected anyways, Thea, absolutely. Good morning, Vidya from India. Thanks for joining. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Sorry, I missed several names. Good morning, Diane. If anybody else is crafting this morning, let me know what you're working on. Today, I've got a really busy day today. Marlon is home with an injury and I have to take him to some appointments. I also have my knitting and crochet club tonight, and each of my round trips today does not get to combine with another one. So I did the full round trip commute to the beach this morning for Yarn on the Beach. I have to do a full round trip commute to take him to his appointments this afternoon. Then I have to do another full round trip to go to Knitting and Crochet Club, but oh well, it is what it is. And I have an appointment this afternoon with a woman who is a friend of a friend, and I've known her for many years, and she's a business and entrepreneur woman in a totally different industry, and she came to me for help with part of my wheelhouse to help her grow a new part of her business. And as we were discussing the idea last night, she was asking me for my consultation fees, and I said, wait a second, you bring stuff to the table too. What do you think about a barter? Barter is one of my favorite concepts in the world. Anytime I can think of something fun and exciting to barter with somebody, I think it just sounds fun. And so we decided we're going to do a barter. She's going to help me with some things about business that she knows better than I do, and I'm going to help her with some things about business that I have more experience than she does. And our first phone call brainstorming session is going to be this afternoon, so I'm super excited about that. Hi, Darlene. You are working on hand-dyed roving on your drop spindle. Wonderful. Good morning, Teresa. Thanks for joining. How about these waves? They are so loud and awesome. Yes, Dawn, trade is always fun when it works, right? It doesn't always work, and when it doesn't work, we have money. But when it works, I think it's a great way to connect with other people, and I don't know, it's just really special when it works out. So I was going to work on my next motif, but I got to figure out which one's next here. So I'm going to set this down on the blanket over here so you can see. When making a garment with motifs, it's really helpful to set it down, trying to figure out where you're at. So like that's the back, and this is the front. But I think one thing that I should have done and will do when I go home today is to put a stitch marker where the front center, the piece that goes down here, I'm going to put a marker here so I remember. As this grows, it'll make more sense. Is that even showing up? As it grows, it'll make more sense where I'm at. But if you're just lifting it up like this, it's near impossible to figure out where you are or where you want to join. So I always like to set it down and try to set it down in the proper schematic shape, like an aerial view. And then I have a better idea of where to go next. I'm all confused. I'm gonna have to do that when I get back. It's not even gonna work here at the beach. Good morning, Rita from Germany. What else could I work on? Well, I guess I have to unravel this. Unfortunately, this one's just not going to work. I'm not happy with that at all. Dawn's working on, Dawn is working on a project for Motif Magic, my new 14th book. This Motif Magic, for those of you who aren't familiar, is thank you, Sarah, is my 14th book. It's a book of 17 join as you go projects to knit and crochet, and she's working on the Ephira cowl, which is knit motifs. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the blessings. I appreciate it. And I even have the sample here to show you what she's working on. Reach over into Dolly the Wonder Wagon here. I know it's in here. There it is. This is a really interesting construction for a cowl or a Mobius or a capelet, depending on how large you make it. It's strips of knit motifs that are joined as you go. Thanks, Sarah. I love my braids too. I've gotten into such a habit wearing them that I don't really like styling my hair down at the moment, so I guess I'm just going to go with it for a while. So it's knit motifs, so each one of these is part of its own strip of motifs, and I'll show you in the schematic in a minute. And so you start, you can tell that it's garter stitch, right? So you're increasing up as you go in this direction, and then you decrease down as you go in that direction, and you're adding these little legs as you go as well. And then so you do that as one strip. And then when you start, should have pointed out on this one. So then when you come in and do the second strip, you're working in this direction, but as you make these little legs, you're joining them to the leg in the previous strip. And then when you come to the tip on the side at the lightest point of this motif, you're joining it to this motif. And then when you come here, you join that leg to this leg, and so on and so forth up here. Then when you come and start the third strip, you do the same thing. You're going to join here, 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 and keep going up. So you end up making this incredible fabric, but it's strips of motifs that you join as you go. Those of you who are experienced crocheters recognize and know how to join as you go, but those of you that knit may not always be familiar with join as you go, but it's a technique that you can use just as easily in knitting as you can in crochet. And that's one of the main components of the knit portion of Motif Magic, is introducing join as you go for knitting. It's very common in crochet, but not so common in knitting, and it's a wonderful technique for creating all sorts of fabrics. I love how this looks like argyle lace, looks like argyle, but the negative space of joining the motifs is what gives you the argyle. So I like to call it argyle lace. And now I'll show you in the book. So here's the diagram, which helps you understand as you're making a motif how you join it to the other one as you go. Lots of close-up photos. All of the stitches are explained. Here's another photo. And then here's how you can wear it over your shoulders. If you didn't want to wear it as a cowl, you could stretch it down over your shoulders as well. And so that's one of the projects in Motif Magic. There are 17 total in knitting and crochet. It's available on Amazon Prime in 5 continents. It is available on my website if you would like to have it autographed. And you can also order a digital copy of it. You can get an ebook through Kindle anywhere in the world as well. Hi Sherry, thanks for joining us this morning. Here's another knit project that's joining you go from the book. This is the Vivian shawl. This is done in Be So Fine yarn. And these are also motifs that you join as you go in knitting. and then you pick up and knit from those strips of motifs to create the bands in between them. Thank you, Dawn. This is in colorway Pink Damask in Be So Fine yarn, which is 100% bamboo fingering weight yarn, and you can do this with one ball of Be So Fine yarn. I love how dainty this looks, and I love it. Just looked like it actually looks like it's beaded, right? These give me the illusion of having a beaded edging, but it's just, in fact, if you put beads in this, oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Oh good, someone's going to help someone with technical issues. That's wonderful. I feel like people that watch and comment are better at teaching how to do that than I am, because I do a whole different thing when we do live streams. So I think it's great when someone else can help with from that point of view. So thank you so much for helping everyone else. Yes, it is elegant, and I'll turn around so you can see the back. Hopefully that shows up in my hair and isn't in the way. Now, another thing that you can do is use thicker yarn and a larger needle, and you can make this much bigger as well. If you did this in Be So Sporty yarn, or you did it in Be So Bold yarn. This yarn. Karen, Yarn on the Beach comes in both Be So Fine and Be So Sporty in the Bling collection, and Santabella Shawl was done in Be So Sporty, so yes, you could use that. Be So Wild is not available right now. It is sold out. It goes so fast when I make it, but I do love having it, and I hope to get it back again. I am definitely looking for help, whether I find an intern or an assistant or some sort of employee right now, in order to get all the things or more of the things done that I would like to get done. I need some help right now, and I think Be So Wild is going to be on that list. I just can't get to it at the moment, but as soon as I can, one way or the other, I would love to have it back in stock. Be So Wild is a lot of fun. It's a super chunky weight of yarn that I make, and it's taking all sorts of exotic yarns and putting them together by wrapping a silk thread around all of them. So it's just really unique, really unique. And I add sequins and different novelties with luxury fibers, and it's just, oh, it's beautiful, really beautiful. So I hope to get it back in stock soon. So thank you for asking about it. Karen, you got your yarn yesterday. Okay, yeah. Well, you know what? Start, block. If you can do some sort of a swatch and block it, you will definitely know if you like the feel of it. If you're too tight, it'll be too stiff. And if you're too loose, then you probably won't see the stitch definition that you're looking for. So it's always good to do some sort of a swatch, just to make sure that you like the look and feel and drape of it. Because if you knit or crochet too tightly, the drape really changes a lot. Sometimes that's great, and sometimes it's not so great. So if you're doing the Santabella Shawl, I believe you're the same person that asked about that, I would highly recommend making sure that you like the drape of it. Because if it's too tight, that could be an issue. But having said that, you affect yardage then too. So, you know, always make sure that you order enough yarn, especially when you're changing gauge. It really does affect your yardage as well. What else am I going to talk about this morning? Wow, this is beautiful. And so quiet. I can't believe how few people are here. Thank you, Edna. This is the Vivian Shawl Knit Join As You Go motifs in my new book, Motif Magic. Sarah wants to make a summer top. Are you looking to knit or crochet? Or either? KB's working on a lace wrap. Then she wants to knit. Have you looked at the Kimmy top? The Kimmy top is really, really beautiful, easy to wear. The Sweet Clara top is one of my favorites. There's another one, I can't think of the name right now, but honestly, what I would really suggest that you do is go to my website and go to that free pattern category page. All the links to find all sorts of information are in every video description. So whether you're looking for free patterns or the yarn shop or any of my other educational pages or shopping sites, they're all listed in, and all the different playlists, the most popular playlists here on YouTube, they're all listed in every video description. So please go down and take a look at those anytime you're looking for stuff. But once you go to the free pattern directory on my website, you can search by tops. And what I think that you should do is search by tops, especially since you're open to knitting and crochet, and you'll see all of them that way. I missed a request for a type of pattern. Sorry about that. If you feel like repeating it, please do so. Woo! Tide's coming in. You're welcome, Sarah. If you have any questions, let me know. Edna made the Sweet Clara top. Wonderful. I've done 3 Sweet Clara tops. I've done a short sleeve, a long sleeve, and a dress. Good morning, Shirley. Thanks for joining. Oh, I was going to unravel this, but it looks like we're almost out of time, so I'll just pack it away and save it for later. I'm hoping to get more work done on this in the Knitting and Crochet Club tonight. But we'll see, because probably have some people that need help with their projects, and that's always good too. I love it when people bring their questions to our Knitting and Crochet Club. Love to help them there. Heather, most of my crochet tops are easy. I highly recommend going and looking at that directory and seeing which one speaks to you, because they all come with line-by-line instructions, charts, and video tutorials. But we're almost out of time, so let's take one last minute here to enjoy this magnificent view and the sounds of these beautiful waves today, and set our intentions for the day. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend some time with me this morning. I hope you enjoyed the sunrise and these amazing waves. Hope you enjoyed our conversations and some of the demos that I showed you. If you like Yarn on the Beach podcast, please click the thumbs up button. Please share it with your friends. Subscribe to my channel and click the bell button so you can get notified when I'm live. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.